When we face our whiteness, we need to set aside our sense of uniqueness, the tendency we white people have to not see either our whiteness or our racism. White ignorance produces the ironic outcome that whites will in general be unable to understand the world they themselves have made. Facing the implications of being white is not comfortable. White fragility is not a weakness, but a way of protecting white privilege. White ignorance is the means by which we at the centre close our eyes to our privilege and the inherent privilege in whiteness, the reality of white privilege. As we face the guilt of whiteness past and present, we have to let go of the myth of our white innocence and purity and acknowledge the darkness at its heart.
What we are against is the teaching of contested political ideas as if they are accepted fact, and it is the promotion of critical race theory, an ideology that sees my blackness as victimhood and their whiteness as oppression. I want to be absolutely clear, this government stands unequivocally against critical race theory. We do not want to see teachers teaching their white pupils about white privilege and inherited racial guilt. And let me be clear, any school which teaches these elements of critical race theory as fact without offering a balanced treatment of opposing views is breaking the law.
So you were paying to be taught that white people were inherently racist and men were
inherently sexist.
Inherently sexist.
Yeah.
But what's that got to do with psychotherapy?
Well, it's a good question. I'm a student of psychotherapy at the Tavistock. After witnessing the whiteness lecture, I expressed my view that it was racist and referred to Kemi Badenoch's speech. In response, the Tavistock staff threatened, suspended, harassed, bullied and victimised me, and they tried to destroy my career over a 2-year campaign of abuse, which is still ongoing. I'm taking them to court. So I got called into a meeting with a member of staff at the Tavistock, and I was told that the course might not be right for me. I was told that it's an anti-racist organisation, and I said, well, I'm against racism as well. I do. And I explained that my idea of not being racist is not judging a person by the colour of their skin, not making assumptions about them, treating them equally. And the senior member of staff said to me, well, that's actually a discredited view. We see that as outdated at the Tavistock.
Really? I mean, Martin Luther King said that, didn't he?
Yeah.
The content of the character, not the colour of the skin.
Yeah.
That's what we're all aiming for.
Because I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
What people often refer to as the colourblind approach. That's the approach that I take with regards to race. And she said that viewpoint was seen by the Tavistock as discredited and outdated.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, because it is. How can you say that viewpoint? How can you say the most important piece of civil rights work in the history of racial equality is outdated?
He said, well, that is what we think here. That is, we do see white people as all being unconsciously racist. And I said, well, I don't agree with that. And she said it's a bit like the way all men are inherently sexist. And I said, well, I don't agree with that either.
Is that what they said they believe?
Yeah, she
all
said
men are inherently
well,
sexist.
she said...
And she raised a student conduct policy against me, which is the first of a disciplinary proceedings to remove someone from the course.
Well, because you were asked for your opinions.
Yeah.
You're then told that you've traumatised her by telling her the truth.
The truth.
And then she raises a disciplinary against you.
Yeah.
Okay, she sounds nice.
If I had a patient who was black or Asian or an ethnic minority of some sort, I've got to kind of factor in the fact that they might be threatened by my whiteness, and that
factor in the fact that you're superior.
Yeah, that is
wouldn't
what
go
they're
down
saying.
well with me at all.
No.
And it's a huge assumption to make that just because you're a certain colour you have some sort of privilege. It's baloney.
I think this is rife within our institutions at the moment, in higher education, in lots of...
Well, I'll be honest with you, I've never come across it. Nobody's dared say that to me. It was only a few years ago when someone said white privilege, I thought, what's that?
They can't even allow for disagreement. You know, I don't mind if somebody wants to think like this, they can. I don't agree with it, but they can. But it's like I'm not even allowed to disagree. I've been, reprimanded for just saying I don't agree. So essentially they are forcing a racist ideology onto me.
Well, I was going to say, it's actually racist.
It is racist, yeah.
I mean, for me, as somebody who is black, I find that quite racist, because you're actually saying you're perpetuating a narrative to keep yourself on top.
Yeah.
You're basically saying that we're better than you, we're better than you, we're better than you, but don't worry about it because we understand you. That's very good of us.
Yeah.
But you're not better than anybody. Everyone's equal. And
Everyone's
that's
equal.
more, you know, it beggars belief.
And she essentially wrote to them saying that I should be struck off as a nurse.
Well, that's brutal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's malevolent. This is our future, it's our kids' future, and it is insidious, and it's in our society, and we need to root it out. And when brave people like Amy here stand up, she deserves all of our support. So please do what you can and give what you can.